thank you, Ms. Simpson, for agreeing to meet with me today. This is the first time I've done or facilitated a presentation, and I really appreciate the input of a fellow counselor. You're a lifesaver. We'll just go over it slide by slide if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's a presentation on addressing the issue of teen pregnancy. I have 4 main areas I want to cover. I have the data, psychosocial implications, interventions as well as resources, and then I include counselor, educator, and parental involvement. Grades 9 through 12. What do you think?
So you're targeting high school students specifically, not just trying to do a younger demographic with children's and teen pregnancy?
No, I had done one for middle school earlier, and I don't think that curriculum would fit for 9th through 12th graders. It's an older group. So I've started from scratch and I've built up a new one. And hopefully you can give me your input on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have some data here showing the rate of teen pregnancy from 2007 to 2015, and even though you can see there's a definite decline, this is still much higher than any other westernized national or nation. The United States is much, much higher, significant.
So those numbers are mind-blowing, and the information is current, it's not at all backdated?
No, it's not. I just got it in 2017. It is up to 2015.
Okay.
The reasons for this are unclear. The data cannot prove whether it is because of increased frequency of abstinence or an increased use of contraception. Either way, the numbers have decreased.
Overall, yes.
So I've included the geographic disparities. There is definitely a difference depending on what region you live in. 2015 birth rate in Massachusetts was only 9.4%, while at the same time in Arkansas it's 38%. Massachusetts has a very high per capita income of $64,235, which is the second highest in the U.S., while Arkansas is down here at $39,000, and it's ranked 3rd in the U.S.
Okay. I like what you did there. It definitely highlights the different disparities and how they're significant to the problem in general.
Absolutely. And it's different when we're just talking about it. When you see it in black and white and you actually see these specific numbers,
They're definitely significant.
Thank you. So the role of the psychosocial determinants, we begin with the socioeconomic disparities. A few of them that I've listed: low education and low income levels of the original family. Few positive community involvement opportunities. A lot of these kids come from neighborhoods and environments where there's just not a lot of positivity. They don't have a lot of, say, volunteer involvement or volunteer opportunities. Neighborhood racial segregation. Neighborhood physical disorder, which in the literature is, it's understood to be a lot of graffiti, a lot of garbage, a lot of condemned buildings.
So just overall, the neighborhood isn't looking as up to par as other areas.
Exactly, yeah. And then there's neighborhood level income inequality. It's lower income socioeconomic areas.
And have you considered the students in the child welfare system and how they may be relevant to this topic?
Oh, that's great.
Overall?
That's great. I'm going to add that now. Yes, I did read where kids that are in the foster system, unfortunately, teen pregnancy is on the rise there as well. Thank you for that. The resources and interventions that I've come up with so far is that reproductive education needs to be revisited throughout the high school career, not just freshman year, not just, say, sophomore year. I would like to see it as an ongoing process.
Throughout every single year.
Exactly. As the students mature, maybe even the curricula could increase, or it could be the same curricula, just more of like a follow-up. Introduction of contraceptive education as well as abstinence, so not one or the other, but both combined.
Yes.
I would love to suggest peer groups that involve student leaders, so that students can sit down with other students where they feel more comfortable to maybe speak out. And maybe you could have a counselor that just takes kind of a back seat to the entire process, not necessarily involvement,
but could guide it a little
Exactly.
Yes.
And then maybe, I'd like your input on this, to invite and support parent involvement and informational meetings throughout the school year.
That would be beneficial, especially for the students that have parents that are more involved. It might involve more pressure to pay attention to this.
Exactly. I would like to also invite community outreach programs to visit the school for presentations and then allow them to leave material, leave resources that maybe kids didn't want to raise their hand and ask for, but can walk by and pick one up and take it home with them and read it in the privacy of their own home. And then I would love for the counselors to incorporate the use of the term teen parenthood in lieu of teen motherhood. We need to include the male students in the teen pregnancy discussions. I feel like too often that's left out.
It's often, like, you do see where it's more focused towards the mother rather than both
Exactly.
parents when they are often.
Exactly.
It needs to be included as well.
Thank you. Let's see, I'm also going to, I'd like to really expand on the informational meetings. Instead of having them once or twice a year, a lot of parents can't attend. And as you know, most of our students
Have parents in two working households.
Exactly. And so if somebody works nights, maybe they can come to a day meeting. But
So
for
if
somebody who works days, they can come to the evening meetings.
So if throughout the year we did multiple day and night meetings, they would offer different options for different parents. Like if they only could get to one, that could be the one they could get to.
Exactly. And if you have parents that have separate households,
one could go to one and one could
Exactly.
if they have a difficult relationship.
and I thought it would be important to not just have them at the school, but to have them in different locations throughout the community. Maybe community outreach programs would sponsor us and let us have maybe their room or something like that. And I did hear from one of the teachers that it's important to make sure that they are reachable. Many of our students and their families use mass transit. So I need it to be, I would like to make sure that it's within walking distance of a bus stop, train station, subway station, so that we can make sure that they can get there, do all that we can. Maybe even we could give out bus vouchers if it's in the budget for us.
That
to
way
do
if a car isn't available, there are different options
Absolutely.
overall for
Yeah.
the parents to get there.
And then I encourage the attendance of both the parents and the students. It creates, I think, having that kind of in-between place creates more of an environment where they feel
more
supported.
comfortable and less like the parents are pressuring the children to do whatever they believe.
Right. So there's no home turf and there's not, I don't feel comfortable speaking out here. Right. So I think, and then finally we have the role of the counselor and the educator and the parents. I want to make sure that that all three of them be viewed as equal. None is more important than the other. We're all here for the mutual benefit of the student.
Yes.
And we all have the best interests of the student's psychological health as well as physical health being our shared goal. So that we all have open communication with each other and can talk freely.
All on the same page
Absolutely.
overall.
And
That way they are getting different information.
Exactly. And it's so important for the student to recognize that. I would like to have the educators be trained, the counselors could do this, to identify the signs of a teen who may be sexually active and in need of some education, of resources, as well as directing a pregnant teen to the counselor for further assistance so that they can help guide them through that process. And then parents, I would like to urge to attend those informational meetings that we were speaking of earlier and really become involved in it rather than feel like they're on the outside
and separated
because
from the
then
child.
exactly, because if they're on the outside, the students on the inside by themselves. So I would really, really encourage that. And again, to encourage male students to take part in this as well.
It is important to include the male students so that neither one of the children feels separate from each other.
Absolutely. So I have all my references here listed in case anyone at the presentation wants to check. And I'm open to anyone adding to or maybe tweaking some things here and there for maybe 9th graders. Maybe it might be a little different than 12th
Specific
graders.
to each grade.
Definitely. So I'm open to any suggestions. So what do you think?
I think overall it was very well done.
Thank you. I thank you. Good luck to me on my first presentation.